welcome to ZZ Talk with your hosts, Zino
and Zeus.
This is the show, this is the podcast with two guys who talk about any and everything, including pop culture, sports, and a heavy dose of politics. Yes, this is in fact a podcast now. We spent a good bit of the time that we had off setting all that up. So yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we did. So it was all Zeno. Zeno is always going to be the MVP of this podcast, but it really is. We are finally a podcast. This is our very first recording where we know we're going to be on iTunes, Spotify, wherever your podcast needs are met. So this isn't episode 20. I told Zeno this is episode 2.0 because this is the official relaunch of ZZ Talk with Zeus and Zeno.
Exactly. That's an amazing way to brand this. Zeus, how have you been, man?
I've been good, man. So like I was telling you in the pre-production, my wife's got me on a diet. So not really on me on a diet. So this is how much Zeno cares. I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm on a diet. He's like, well, you're pre-diabetic? And I was like, no, it wasn't any. It was, I mean, obviously there's health issues why you would want to lose weight, right? But
yeah,
it's just one of those things, man. Look, the pandemic got us, man. It made everybody gain weight. My wife like lost a massive amount of weight for a while. She went to this weight loss center and like they helped her out. Then she was telling me, it was like the pandemic got me, made me gain some of it back. So we went back. We're going back. I'm trying to lose 50 pounds. I guess I'm putting myself on blast right now to see like if I don't lose it, you guys will know that I failed at it. But I'm trying to lose 50 pounds. So I'm trying to get a 205. My wife was like, why 205? I was like, because that's my fighting weight, so I'm trying to get down to 205. So we'll see what happens. I also just recently joined and I'm gonna see if I can get a link to the actual fundraiser, which is a fundraiser for Stop Suicide. It's SSS. It's Stop Soldier Suicide. So I have the shirt right here that they sent to us. So I was originally gonna go and I was gonna record a day because it's for April. It's for the month of April. So in the month of April, you have to do 2,000 burpees.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done a burpee? Like that's a workout, like a whole workout almost in and of itself, right? So we're gonna do 2,000 burpees in the month of April. When you signed up, they said that you could start recording March 31st. I tried to record. They said no. So I guess today it was practice again, which is fine. I'm trying to get my stamina up because I'm actually doing more than 2,000. Somebody like in the challenge actually got hurt, so I volunteered to do 250 of his, and a bunch of other people volunteered. So hopefully, we'll still be able to knock out his 2,000. But anyways, so I'm doing 2,250 burpees in the month of April. I'm still trying to actually do my actual regular workout. So hopefully your boy will get nice and fit, and I'll be the sexy one of this podcast. Okay. No, you can't see us because we're a podcast, even though you have the YouTube show, but mostly we're going to be a podcast.
Yeah, and for the people on the podcast, Zeus showed the shirt, and for them, we'll also tell you what the website is so you can go and donate or join the challenge if you want. I've got it in front of me. It's stopsoldiersuicide.org. So spelled just as it sounds, right? No hyphens, no underscores. Stopsoldiersuicide.org. That's a really great thing you're doing, man. Yeah, so I, on the other hand, Zeus is doing something to help others. I just wanted to do something to, I guess, exercise my vices. So I went on my first trip out of the States since the pandemic started, and I went to Cherokee, North Carolina, because a buddy of mine, his wife was out of town. He was like, hey, dude, you want to go gambling? I was like, yeah, sure. So we got a night at a hotel in Cherokee.
I want you to say why, though. Why did he say, hey, you want to go gambling? What happened that allowed him to be free?
Oh, his wife. His wife went out of town. She went to Jersey for the weekend.
Yeah, so when the mouse, what is it? When the cat is away, the mouse is a play.
Yes.
Because that's the only time as a married person you get to play is when the spouse goes away.
I believe she knew, and if she didn't, whoops. I hope she doesn't listen to the podcast.
I'm sure
So I went to Cherokee, to Harrah's over there, and whenever I go to Vegas or whatever, I always withdraw a certain amount of money and tell myself, look, if you lose this money, this is the cost of entertainment, basically, right? Because at the end of the day, the house always wins. So I withdrew $500 and I was like, all right, I'm not a big poker person, so I'm gonna do like 100 for poker. So I cashed in the 100, got my chips, and I'm gonna do poker. And I was up quite a bit, and then I lost it all. So I was like, all right, I'm done with poker. And then I took the remaining 400, and I got 100 in chips to play blackjack. And I was down to like my final 15 because it's like a $15 minimum table. And then I like made it all the way up to like 200 plus with that 100. So I still haven't used the remaining 300. I was like, I'm doing pretty well. And then the dealer was swapped out, and I like lost all of that. And I started putting more money down. So I get more chips. I must have been,
Blackjack is the one where you have to hit 21, right?
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Or you have
I
to be
hate
there.
whenever a new dealer comes in.
Yes, or you have to be
Or
there.
another person comes next to you and ends up messing up your vibe.
Ends up the flow. Yeah, messes up the flow. So either you hit 21 or the dealer busts.
Yeah.
Or you get higher than the dealer. Any one of those three. So anyway, that second dealer like made me lose a bunch of money. Then that first dealer came back, and I made my way back up. And at one point, I think I was up like double what I started with. And I should have left, but my friend was still playing poker, and I was like, well, I gotta stay here. And I must have been on that table for like,
because you sure do, right? You gotta stay there.
Right. So I must have been on that table for like 5 hours. And by the time we were about to leave, I was down to like $120, I think. And I was like,
out of again,
out of the 500 that I had drawn. So I was like, look, I was already gonna lose all this money anyway. So he came, he said that he had finished playing, which meant he lost his money. and he was like, yeah, let's go get some dinner. I was like, all right, cool, let me wrap this up here. So I just put the rest of my chips there, and I hit blackjack. So I got the money back, and I was like, well, but we're leaving, so let me put the rest of these there. And I hit it again, and I got up to 460. I got $460 basically. So
so you only lost $40.
Basically, yeah, throughout the night. So I was like, all right, I'm leaving. So I gave a tip of $10, and then I left with 450.
Yeah.
And so that was my Cherokee story. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Hey, you gotta have fun. How was it with the masks? I'm assuming everybody had masks.
Yeah, good question. So everybody, you have to wear a mask, but then in the poker table, since it's like circular and you have like 8 seats there, what they had is they had the plexiglass between each person. Yeah. And those,
because you also like, aren't you able to have it off to drink, or are they like, is it like the airlines now where you have to act only when you're actively drinking?
Well, so there was someone next to me in blackjack that just like had it off because she was like constantly, like she had it on her chin and she was just drinking. Whereas whenever I would drink, I would like take it off, drink. No, I wouldn't take it off, but I'd like pull it, drink, and then put it back. But to each their own, I suppose. It is America after all. But when my friend was playing poker, and there was like a pile of chips out there, and it was his turn to either check or to either call or fold. And he was like, oh, there's a lot of money out there. And then some guy was like, well, that's why we're all here, to gamble. And another guy was like, yeah, with our lives. So I was like, yeah, a little bit of dark humor there for all the COVID going on. Yeah. So yeah, that was my weekend.
All right, that's what's up. So tell us, man, what's on the dais today?
All right. So the Olympics are coming up, and we've got some major Olympic news. So to that end, we're going to do our top 5 Olympic. I said Olympic moments, but really Olympic anything, right? So it could be movies, TV shows, just things that happen in the Olympics, so on and so forth. And then next, the thing that I want to talk about is the fact that the U.S. men's soccer team missed the 2020 Olympics. 2021, since it got moved for COVID, but we're still calling it the 2020 Olympics. They didn't qualify, so because they got beaten by Honduras. So we're going to talk about that and what it means for U.S. men's soccer, what it means in
I have a couple of questions for you. So.
Yeah, in relation to women's soccer, all that stuff, and then keeping with sports, we're going to talk about the 2021 NFL draft and the major moves that were made over the past week. how that affects the Atlanta Falcons and what we now think they're going to do with their pick. And then in entertainment, we're going to talk about Jessica Walter for a short while. For those who don't know, that is Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development. And she also plays the mother in Archer. I forget her name. But she passed away recently, so we're just going to reflect on her life a little bit. And then Black Widow has a new date. And we're also going to talk
Again.
yes. And then we're going to talk about the Snyder Cut of Justice League. And then in news and politics, a couple of mass shootings. Obviously, the shooting over here in Atlanta, in Georgia, and then the shooting in Colorado. And then we're gonna talk about immigration, and we're gonna finish with breaking news from yesterday about Representative Matt Gaetz.
Oh, and also we have to include this. So actually, that we're gonna have to toss this one in. Remember, the basically voter suppression law that was just passed. So we forgot to talk about that in pre-production, but we definitely have to talk about that. So
yes. So yeah, the very repressive voter, the bill that passed the Georgia legislature. We're going to talk about that, and that's what we have for the show. It's going to be jam packed, but we'll try to get through it for you guys.
Episode 2.0.
Yes. All right.